place here is Japan, Tokyo, Yotsuya, and our organization is named Video Art Center Tokyo. And this group of artists get together to have some organization for the video art. Probably not the first time, but lately really new movements to create such kind of like artist-run initiatives. Like there have been many artist-run or artist initiative groups, but we are very unique in the point that we are specifically focusing on video art. The aims of the organization is first to be a place for the artist to get access to equipment and also some information regarding to video art history and also like current video art scene in all over the world, so that they, like Japanese artists or even those who are in Tokyo and like following people, actually following artists in Tokyo, that get access to more wider dimension of video art. But in some part, video art has to act the role of being the consciousness of a society. That is true because it's more reflective and also it's more observational as an art form.
我々もアメリカに対していろんな恩義がございます。しかしその恩義の中で皆さん。
I was for 6 years an art critic here, and I eventually found my way into galleries and so on around the Ginza area, which is the established gallery area. And I then had to find what else there was, and of course the museums were there. But basically all the galleries in Japan, almost all the galleries are paid for by the artists, which I found was, I couldn't understand that at all. I couldn't believe it, in fact. So I spent my whole time, the first couple of years as a writer, saying, this is wrong. How can we have any quality control here? It's the same as a love hotel. You pay and you can do whatever you like, as long as you're paying. So then when I met Masato Nakamura, he was first of all organising this thing here called the Gimbra Art, which was a guerrilla art activity, if you like, on the streets of Ginza, the main gallery area, where a major 8 artists would take over each of the blocks. There are 8 blocks in Ginza. Each person would have one block and they would do something in that block on a certain Sunday. It then blossomed into a complete kind of festival, and a whole lot of other people joined in, and suddenly the Ginza turns into a pedestrian area on the Sundays, so no cars can drive through. So people just wander around. And suddenly they were wandering around in this famous art area, but the art was on the streets, not in the galleries. And so that was Masato's first idea. So this was the first time Nakamura put together a group of artists. It wasn't Command N, but it was a movement of some kind. He did the same thing the following year in Shinjuku, which is where we are now, and further, I think in Fukuoka or somewhere elsewhere. Then after that, seeing the success of this kind of group activity, I think he had this idea for Command N. And I was naturally interested. I was participating too. But the fact is it's alternative, and it didn't cost the artists anything. Of course, we don't know how much organisation is going on in the background. For these, there's organisation but no permission, because it's a guerrilla activity. So then Nakamura Masato moved off into how we can do the same kind of thing with permission somewhere interesting. And this is where he hit upon this idea of Akihabara TV. And he decided that he would approach the electrical shops in Akihabara, which it's full of electrical shops with thousands and thousands of televisions already laid out. So it's a permanent installation, but every time you go up there you only see what's on TV. So he had this idea of taking over, even for a brief period, taking over all the TVs in Akihabara, turning it into an on-site installation. We have just started up again, so we're now, I think, about 20 people now. Because we've only really come to start again in the last about a month or so. The membership is not entirely secure yet. We're not quite sure who's exactly there. But it used to be about 5 artists and 3 coordinators or so. And now it's entirely artist run. So we wouldn't be able to do this in any other way, because now all the galleries are commercial. And the museums are interested in what you're doing, provided it can reflect upon their own history or whatever like that. So Command In, I think, is set up simply as a way of being able to control what goes in your own space and to be doing things that maybe are not commercial and therefore a gallery wouldn't consider. I mean, video is always notoriously difficult to sell, and we can't sell video, but we can still have a show. But if you approach a gallery, they might not be interested because they can't make anything from it. Now, if we have our own gallery and we run our own shows, making no profit whatsoever, that's fine.
My name is Hiroshi Yoshioka. I am now working as a director for Kyoto Biennale 2003. Actually, this building was formerly a building for primary school. It was first built 70 years, more or less 70 years ago. Yeah, I think the educational aspect about art, not only contemporary art, but art in general, is very important in everywhere in the world. But we have to be careful about the fact that education is not one-way process. Because if we think that we are expert of art and we educate people who know nothing about art, this is not good. And I think this mutual education between artists and normal people, between critics and some other people from some other areas, is very important. We are allowed to do things, and we are allowed to invite young artists who are not famous at all, who are doing something new, experimental, and we cannot say he or she can be successful or in 2 years, or maybe not. But at least we can show their work and encourage them to follow their line, what they are going to do, and partly show the process, not only the finished work, but the process, show the process to people. So I think it is one of the most important part of the educational function of this Kyoto Art Center. I'm a philosopher by my profession. But art is important for me because art is the only thing we have in this world which can give us a large-scale imagination. It's a very profound possibility of human imagination. I think every art has, whether artists like it or not, every artist, art activities have a political aspect. I think there is no way to get away from this. Of course, we know some art and artists who are not explicitly involved in political view. But even in that case, I think if they, if the artist says that he or she does not like politics, it is a political decision, you know. Because we, on the one hand, we should have more cooperative networking attempt, but on the other hand, the understanding of contemporary art should change, because still I think the understanding of contemporary art is dominated by the formalistic idea, like art. It's a kind of confined area